So you've seen tremendous change in the industry in your 13 years. What's been the biggest change that you see? And I also want to know, where do you think things are going in the next 5 years?
Sure. So much has evolved over the years. If we look at big media companies, there's an editorial department and an e-commerce department. So if you're a product-based brand and you want to feature in men's health, 8 of the 10 features typically have an affiliate link. So there's definitely been a change to move over to metrics. So media members are looking at what's trending, right? What's the search volume for this story? And they're utilizing that as part of their metrics. So that's really the first difference.
Let's dig deeper on that, because I want to make sure I'm understanding carefully.
Mhm.
Let's say I were your client and I said, hey, I've got my new online public speaking course. It's $1,000. Can you pitch Men's Health has been nice enough to quote me several times in the past. Can you get them to do a profile article of me, and a part of your pitch be, hey, we have an affiliate link, and every person who buys the course from your link, Men's Health will get $200. Is that a part of the publicist pitch now? Or does that instantly put you in the advertising category where they want you to buy time?
So there's two different separate entities. So the editorial department works with the e-commerce department, meaning they want to maximize their articles. So yes, they would include an affiliate link to buy your course. They want to see that. And they have databases and they'll search to see who has an affiliate link. On the separate side, there are way more sponsored articles, sponsored posts, people selling articles. That's a new change as well. People selling their time.
Can I, and I apologize for interrupting, but I find this fascinating, and I don't know what the answer is.
Mhm.
When you, as the publicist, are pitching someone to Men's Health or any publication, are you now using as a part of your pitch, hey, your e-commerce department is going to love the fact that we have this affiliate link? Or is that a part of your pitch?
It is, but it's also saying, hey, this many people are searching, looking at Google and Google Trends, like 1 million people last month searched for this topic. So we get in our pitches too.
Okay. And then how much of your time is creating a sponsored article and then just buying the time, which, has been around forever. I remember, mobile did that, full page ads in the New York Times 40 years ago. So it's not necessarily something new, but you're right, more and more online publications are doing it. And that's kind of the fine line. Is it PR? Is it advertising? What is it? How much of what you're doing for clients now is you're buying the space for sponsored content?
So 110% of everything we do is all earned media. So emailing producers, texting them, emailing them, building relationships, building an incredible relationship with one producer in one media market and sending them ideas for the next 90 days. It's harder. It takes a lot more time and hustle, but I love earned media. And it's really based on relationships. We've gotten people on the Today Show and Entrepreneur, but it takes time. And your story has to be special enough. And that's not a mean thing or ego thing, but a lot of times it's a timing thing. Like on a personal level, I've been in the media 700 plus times. My story has evolved over time, right? Like my dad died of cancer when I was in high school. So the first set of my publicity locally was supporting the Lung Cancer Association and what that meant to me. But I didn't even have a business. I was just promoting a cause I cared about. Then a couple years later, I was a part of the Miss International system. I was Miss Ohio, and I was doing a bunch of Ohio media, TV, radio, print. I probably did 20 plus interviews. And I was going on as Heather, but I was talking about why businesses need to add a for good component to their business. And my company, Publicity for Good, was mentioned, but it was not an advertisement about Publicity for Good, right? And then,
So I want to make sure I'm understanding it. You had started
yeah,
your publicity firm while in the pageant world?
I slowly, and I did the pageant
Okay.
as a way to reach more people and have a platform.
And pageants are an interesting, there's a lot of contention and debate. We won't get into that, but disclosure, I've trained a couple Miss Universes, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and a lot of pageant winners in European pageants. And I'm not discounting criticisms of the pageant world, but I can tell you, we do live in a world now where so many young men, boys, get so much publicity for high school basketball, college football, college basketball, and there still are not as many media opportunities for women. One of the things the pageants do is they really give a lot of opportunities for media coverage for women, and some of them give training through people like me for training. So it is an opportunity to get a lot of exposure earlier in your career. I mean, people forget that Oprah Winfrey was Miss Tennessee and Diane Sawyer was a Miss USA. I can't remember if she was a winner or third place, but did very well in the pageant world. So some good grounding there, and just facing your nerves and speaking to people when most young people think that would be the last thing in the world they would want to do.
For sure. But it's definitely a good experience to get your name out there, to support a mission that you care about, and honestly build relationships with some incredible women who honestly want to make a difference. So that was like one of my media stories. And then the pandemic hit and COVID happened. And I was living full time in a 23-foot Airstream with my husband. And I was like, okay, we were living in an Airstream, and it's one of those silver travel trailers that are very—
Those are fancy.
And I'm like, I'm a publicist. We're living full time in an Airstream. Like, we have a really cool story, like living full time in an Airstream during the pandemic. And at the time, we were a 6-figure business. And when the pandemic hit in March, we lost like 60% of our revenue because people were so unsure and they didn't want to invest in PR, right? Mm-hmm. So I pitched myself to—
Or they wanted to, and their business plummeted and they had no money.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So I pitched myself to the media, and, it is based on timing, but before this, I had hundreds of local interviews, podcasts. It wasn't like I showed up on WGN News TV, which their reach is bigger than Good Morning America or Fox News or Business Insider. It's not like it happened overnight. I had interviews for them to watch. So that was probably 5 years of me being in the media before national media was the right thing. But a lot of it was timing, in that the world would provide an opportunity for me to be in the media based on my story. So I'm saying all good things take time. You need to get local media and interview practice before you go on the main stage. You don't want to look like a one-hit wonder. And things happen in the world that provide an opportunity for your story to be amplified and take the national stage. So a lot of it is based on timing as well.
Yeah, so many publicists talk about what best practices are, and then you go to their own website and it's the classic case of the cobbler's children wear no shoes. They have no testimony. Forget video testimonials. They don't have any testimonials. And they're like, oh, we're busy working on clients. So many publicists take the attitude of, well, I want all the spotlight to be on my clients, not me. I always thought that was short-sighted, because if you can't do it for yourself, why should anyone trust you to do it for them? And if you don't believe in publicity, why should anyone else believe in publicity? So I have to applaud you for that. And just, your willingness to say yes to us and spend time with us, I think is great, because so many people in the publicity world say, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to pull up your website in a minute. But before I do that, I want to get your sense of where this is all going. Because again, I grew up in a time period where, a little ahead of my time, but someone like a Wayne Dyer can write a book, Your Erroneous Zones. He's completely unknown.
Yeah.
No newsletter, no list, no name ID, no fame, no nothing. A book that maybe it wasn't a self-published, but a small publisher. He somehow got on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson at a time when tens of millions of people watched The Tonight Show